Hello everybody, welcome to African Brands. I'm Ajewole. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the show, which also happens to be our very first episode. Over the course of the show, we'll be spotlighting a lot of African brands, Nigerian brands that are doing well, not just in the country, but across the continent, and I dare say across the globe. Kicking off today's episode with a very rare opportunity that we had to attend the Telecommunications Executive and Regulators Forum right here in Victoria Island, Lagos, and a quick chat that we had with the president of Atcon, Mr. Olushola Teniola. Take a look.
Has come a long way since 26 years now that we've been present in the industry, advocating for the right policy, for huge investments that have arrived at this shore since the digitalization of our industry in 2001. One of the things that we are particularly happy about is that we are seen as the umbrella association of all associations. So a lot of the other associations came out of Atcon, especially early in the 90s when we were created, and also most recently as we see that we're transforming towards a digital age now. You see that other associations are trying to affiliate themselves with us. Instead of each member addressing issues, there's some commonality, and that commonality is fed through the body of Atcon. So we not only advocate on their behalf, but we address certain critical issues that they may have. We also give them some suggestions as to how they can strengthen their business models. We provide training, we provide weekly awareness. We have a very great website, atcon.ng, if anyone wants to visit. And then we also create events. Events are very important to recognize not only the challenges that are there, but also the successes that have been recognized in the industry. So yes, it's a not-for-profit organization solely for telecommunication companies that are operating in Nigeria. This is something that has been a challenge for a very, very long time. I think it's still going to be a challenge going forward, mainly because when you look at the increase in subscribers, they have tended to be from the urban cities, like Lagos, for instance, Abuja, and Poduction. The challenging areas and the most difficult one is to justify how we can actually bridge the unserved and underserved parts of the country, which represents about 20 to 30 million Nigerians around that. And it's been broken down into market gaps, and we have about 192 market gaps. And these are areas where it doesn't really make a business case to roll out infrastructure into areas where really, they're not even earning $1 a day, on average per household. So these are people who are really struggling to make ends meet and at the bottom of the poverty line. Licenses that have been given out. So there are 6 out of 7 infrastructure licenses that are recently been awarded by NCC, and they are meant to roll out and push out metro fiber in these geographical regions. So that's an attempt to bring infrastructure closest to those communities that are suffering right now, who don't have the privilege of us who are in the cities, taking a mobile phone for granted. They've never probably even seen one or used one in their lives. The main issue when it concerns telecoms, and I think the main focus is that if we are recognized as an emerging market, we are recognized with a population of about 200 million Nigerians, infrastructure deficit is a real big issue. And when I say it's a real big issue, we need at least $3 billion just to fill in the telecoms infrastructure gap a year for the next 10 years. That's $30 billion. The government's budget, as you heard yesterday, is about 29 billion a year. Government doesn't have that money. And I think that's one gentleman on the panel was saying that government only has $2 billion for infrastructure. I was talking, so you have to remember that there's power infrastructure, there's health infrastructure, there's education infrastructure, there's telecoms infrastructure, and I can go on and on and on. So really, government can actually fill the gap. So there's a recognition that it's only through PPPs, private partnerships, initiatives that we can actually solve this problem. So it's for government to create an enabling environment as best as it can to ensure that these funds that are required to carry out these capital-intensive projects are undertaken. Otherwise, you're going to have the haves and have-nots. Even though we have those challenges, we need to continuously push government to ensure that there's a conducive environment, ease of doing business, so we can achieve this 80%. If we don't, it's going to even magnify the problem. And the problem is that the whole world is going digital. And if the youths are not able to jump onto that digital bus, whatever shape or form it is, then it's going to get worse in the future. So it's almost like saying a stitch in time saves nine.
Over the years, lots of domain names have entered the internet domain space, but if it's in Nigeria, it's got to be .ng. .ng is the most widely accepted and trusted country code top-level domain CCTLD in the world. .ng is the official country code for Nigeria. You can register your name directly under .ng or choose from one of its popular second-level domain extensions, such as .com.ng for commercial companies, .org.ng for not-for-profit organizations, .edu.ng for degree or diploma awarding educational institutions, .mobi.ng for mobile content and service providers, .sca.ng for non-degree and diploma awarding schools, .name.ng for personal websites and emails, .i.ng for interesting action names like trading and shopping, .net.ng for internet service providers, .gov.ng for federal and state ministries, departments and agencies, as well as local governments, .mil.ng for the military. Now, if it's a web or email address ending in .ng, then you know it's trusted, locally relevant, globally accepted, and proudly Nigerian. Experience shows that any domain name ending with .ng ranks among the highest and most relevant on popular internet search engines when searching for products, services, and information relating to Nigeria or the world at large. Businesses with .ng are more relevant and appealing to not only Nigerians but millions of people all around the world. Getting a .ng domain name is easy, fast, and affordable. So if you want to register your domain name, you can choose from any of our over 50 accredited registrars across Nigeria, Africa, and the world. .ng is undoubtedly a great online identity for locally relevant products, services, and innovations. How to register a .ng domain name? Step 1. Think of a name you want to register on .ng for your business, website, or email address. Step 2. Check the availability of the name you want to register on .ng from the NIRA UIS website, uis.nic.net.ng. Step 3. Visit the NIRA website, www.nira.org.ng. Step 4. From NIRA's website, www.nira.org.ng. Click on the icon named Registrars and select your preferred registrar. Step 5. Clicking on your preferred registrar will redirect you to that registrar's website where you can use this platform to register your domain name. Go ahead and register your own .ng domain name and connect to the world. .ng. Your Nigerian identity online.
Nigeria's ICT sector, believe it or not, is budding and growing, and one of the companies that I can say is at the forefront of that is the Interconnect Clearing House. We took a trip down to their office a few weeks ago right here in Victoria Island, Lagos, to meet with the CEO, Mr. Oladele Ayombadejo. Watch this.
You see, in a layman's way, we simplify things. Try to imagine Nigeria, a country of over 200 million, according to United Nations statistics. We have the major players. We have the small players. They need to have a central place of interconnecting. We provide that level playing field for them. They're what we call local players. They're the international players. They're the national players. Everybody, they operate in their own space. Try to imagine now some local player wanting to connect to like 20, 30 other players. A single connectivity to us means they can reach all the 30 players in the industry. And they don't need to start worrying about how to connect to the MTNs, the Airtel, or the Globalcoms, or the 9mobiles of this world. A single connection to us means they can reach everywhere. And that means that the MTNs of this world does not need to start chasing 40 odd players for the payment of their bills. They leave that trouble to us. They invoice us. We collect their money from them for all those people. And those people, too, they invoice us. We get their money for them from other players in the industry. We provide a kind of, we're like sitting in a roundabout. We provide visibility for everybody. It's a simple way. And our regulator that actually came up with that model, in their excellent judgment, knew that Nigeria needs something like that. It's the same thing in the bank. You take the check of another bank to another bank. You get paid. The bank now worry through the clearing to get the money from the other person for you. We have the middleman providing connectivity for everybody. And it's not just that. We provide something which a lot of people don't seem to understand. You see, the telecommunication industry, because there are multiple players, they have multiple vendors. We simplify it. A player comes with a technology that's probably not compatible with the other person. We create the compatibility for them so that they can be able to seamlessly connect to each other. They're what we call legacy networks. Networks that have older equipment. There are people with next generation networks that have very advanced equipment. But how do they connect? There is what we call backward compatibility and forward compatibility. You are talking from your network. You want to be able to reach the other network. You are not caring about the kind of technology they have deployed. We simplify it. We make the connection to happen. We provide voice interconnectivity, voice and SMS interconnectivity. And those are the things we're saying. For national, we have a license for providing voice connections between the networks. And you know there are some other players where we call ISPs, Internet Service Providers. Basically, they provide internet. But the evolution of the networks have turned into, before we used to separate voice and data, but everything has become data now. So on that network, we are able to separate voice, data, SMS. We are able to translate it into what you send to us are packets of information. So we can break them into voice. So we route the voice to the proper place. We route the SMS to the proper place. And the same way when it's coming from the other side, we route them properly. Not only for national, there international callers coming into Nigeria, people calling from overseas, they dial into Nigeria. We're able to route the voice calls, SMS to the networks as well. And then there is something else we do, which is unique for us alone. We do it on behalf of NCC, mobile number portability. We are the only one doing that in Nigeria. And we're doing this on behalf of our regulator, Nigerian Communications. You keep your number, you can move to another network. We are the one doing that for the mobile networks in Nigeria. The engine resides here. There's something we call value-added service now. There are a lot of things you guys are doing with your mobile phones now, applications. So instead of you duplicating that application, you put that application with us because we already have connection to all those people. You don't need to duplicate it. It saves you money. You are in a single location, you have connectivity to all the networks. Because of the environment we're playing in, we have a data center and we are doing what we call hosting services. We provide opportunity for you to bring your servers to our data center to be hosted. The advantage of this is this: we have a very reliable internet, we have reliable power. So, and because of internet, that means that you can access your equipment from anywhere in the world. You have 24/7 power availability, so you don't need to worry about those things. It is the industry we are playing in, so we encourage people to bring those things to us. And you know, the technology for cloud is something everybody talk about now, cloud-based stuff. So the cloud does not need to be in the United States. The cloud is in Nigeria, and that's it. Even for you, for your office, you could actually have your servers, everything you are broadcasting with us here. All you need is internet, and you can be sure that your equipment will have a 24/7 accessibility from our office. It's fully secured, power, internet, you have that. So we're doing co-location services, we're doing hosting. There's what we call the physical hosting. You can bring your servers here, or virtual hosting, in which we create virtual servers for you. We have virtual servers here, so we can do that for you. And then we're doing value-added services aggregation for value-added service providers. Instead of them going to co-locate their equipment at the location of the mobile operators, they bring it here, and a single place they get access to all the mobile operators. So we actually signed on someone from Kaduna, and from anywhere, from his mobile phone, from his house, he can access his equipment. Even when you are traveling, you can access your equipment. It's something that is really discouraging. It's extremely discouraging, but with everything in life is engagement. We continue to engage with the government because the government is in 3 tiers. There's the federal government, there's the state government, there's the local government. You get taxed at the federal level, you get taxed for the same thing at the state level, you get taxed for the same thing under a different name at the local government level. It's really a bit discouraging, but the thing is that we are continuously engaging the various tiers of government through our regulator.
We indeed had a very intense and intriguing conversation with Mr. Oladele Ayonbadejo, and I hope that from watching that and listening to him and the passion he exudes when he speaks, you're a little bit clearer and a little bit more hopeful that our industry, our ICT industry especially, is on the up and up. One of the most important parts of any company, any organization, are the processes that goes on behind the scenes and the people who make all the beautiful and wonderful things we see happen. We're taking a tour of this very prestigious Nigerian brand to see everything that goes on behind the scenes.
And urban Vivacity was more about urban street clothing, the fetish clothing line. And while I was doing that, at some point, it was a case of anything you need, just call Kemi. So everyone was calling Kemi. I need models, call Kemi. I need a limousine, call Kemi. I need a magazine, call Kemi. And my phone just kept ringing. And one day someone said to me, monetize these phone calls. And so I did. And that was the birth of Vivacity PR. So we became a PR company. Instead of just calling Kemi, Kemi will charge you to call her. Because we always like to think outside the box. And, you know, as we've said, we've evolved from being a clothing store, a modeling agency. I think at one point we used to sell cars. So Vivacity, it's so, for that experience, we've been able to bring in experience from the tech world, automobile, modeling, fashion, makeup, you know, name it, and we put it all together. And that way we're able to advise on the best strategies for bringing a brand, a product or a service into the market, because we sort of know what the market needs, what the market wants, and it's also about how can we deliver it to the right demographics. But PR is looking in on a product or service and figuring out the best way to communicate to the public and also communicate back from the public. So it's a two-way type of situation. So what makes us different is the fact that we understand PR and we embrace PR and we don't misunderstand who we are. And so, yeah. The biggest challenge I've had to overcome more is as an individual. So a lot of people don't take you seriously. A lot of people don't understand, you know, like we've said, they don't understand the importance of PR. So you walk into an organization and you're explaining to them, we're going to charge you X, Y, Z. They probably slash it down to about 10%. And the truth is we cannot deliver an effective service at that particular cost price, because for them they're thinking it's just brain, you just need to think about it. But if the environment is not conducive enough, then you can't think straight. And if the right resources are not there, you can't deliver an awesome service. So that's sort of been the difficulty that we've had to face. Clients not understanding the importance and how much needs to be spent on PR. This event is an event for us, by us, and of us. Globalization and Branding Summit is each and every one of us trying to add our own quota or to do our own little bit to change the lives of the average Nigerian. If you know that starting up your own company can change the life of your family, of your local community, then why are you always waiting for the government to make these changes for us? The government's job is to create an enabling environment. The onus is on each and every one of us to take that extra mile further. So I feel that anybody who would like to partner with Globalization and Branding Summit, we are not asking for money. If you want to come along and bring a laptop just for one organization, just a modem, just a smartphone, whatever it is that you can contribute to the life of another individual, that individual can build his or her life and the life of his or her community, then we talk of her nation, and then we talk of her continent, then you've done your own little drop of water in this large ocean. I invite you to partner with us. I invite you to come along. www.vivacitypr.com.
Globalization and Branding Summit is here once again for the second time in Nigeria. The event will play host to over 1,000 attendees from different industries, both locally and globally. We are inviting you as a Nigerian business to get involved and leverage the immense opportunities available to and through our rapidly developing MSME sector. There will be lots of opportunities for SMEs to meet with brand influencers and entrepreneurs to share experiences needed to survive in this dynamic, ever-evolving market. The federal government's MSME clinics will be available to deliver on-the-spot services in areas of company registration, tax, and more. Event attendance is completely free. The venue is Edmark Depoja Mikeja, Lagos on the 9th of August 2019. There are also opportunities to showcase and exhibit your brand. Visit www.vivacitypr.com to register. Places are going fast. Globalization and Branding Summit 2019. Think global, act local.
Thank you so much for joining us today on African Brands. We hope that you've had just as pleasurable an experience as we had meeting with these brands and talking to them. We will be back next week for another very phenomenal episode showcasing everything that's good about business and brands in Nigeria. I'm Ajewole. Thank you so much for watching African Brands.